Daughter Wright shooting, protests near Minneapolis after police killing. Tear gas has been fired and a curfew imposed amid angry protests after police fatally shot a black man in a traffic stop in the US city of Brooklyn Center, just north of Minneapolis. The man has been identified by relatives as 20-year-old Daughter Wright. Brooklyn Center's mayor issued a citywide curfew until 1100 GMT, telling people to be safe, go home. Tensions in Minneapolis are high as the trial of the former officer accused of killing George Floyd takes place. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz said he was closely monitoring the situation and praying for Mr. Wright's family. Hundreds of protesters chanting Daughter Wright's name gathered late on Sunday outside the police headquarters in Brooklyn Center, just a few kilometers north of central Minneapolis. Tensions rose as police donned riot gear and two police vehicles were pelted with stones and jumped on, Reuters news agency reported. Protesters wrote chalk on pavements and lit candles, but police later ordered the protesters to disperse, with footage showing tear gas and stun grenades being fired by officers. Local media reported some looting taking place in a number of areas, and Brooklyn Center Mayor Mike Elliott announced on Twitter he was issuing a curfew until 600. "We want to make sure everyone is safe. Please be safe and please go home," he wrote. Some of the Minnesota National Guard already deployed for the murder trial of Derek Chauvin over the death of George Floyd were sent to Brooklyn Center. Brooklyn Center has closed all school buildings, programs, and activities for Monday, local media report. In a statement, the Brooklyn Center Police Department said officers had pulled a man over for a traffic violation on Sunday afternoon and determined that he had an outstanding arrest warrant. They said that when police tried to arrest him, he re-entered the vehicle. An officer then shot the driver, who drove on for several blocks before he crashed into another vehicle. He was pronounced dead at the scene. A female passenger in the vehicle suffered non-life-threatening injuries. Police said the officers involved were wearing body cameras and dash cameras had also been activated. Mr. Wright's mother, Katie, said her son had called her during the traffic stop and he said he had been pulled over because of air fresheners hanging from his rearview mirror. She said she then heard scuffling and the phone line was cut. A minute later, he called and his girlfriend answered, who was the passenger in the car, and said that he'd been shot and my son was lying there lifeless. She said her son's body had been left on the ground by officers, adding, "Nobody will tell us anything. Nobody will talk to us. I said, please take my son off the ground," the Star Tribune reported. Mayor Elliott said the shooting was tragic and Governor Walz said, "Our state mourns another life of a black man taken by law enforcement." The murder trial of Derek Chauvin over the death of George Floyd has been underway in the city for 2 weeks now. Mr. Chauvin was filmed kneeling on Mr. Floyd's neck for more than 9 minutes during an arrest operation in Minneapolis last May. The footage of the incident sparked global protests against racism. The trial is expected to last at least 1 month, and law enforcement officials have already been bracing for possible unrest once the jury reaches a verdict. George Floyd's death sparked waves of protests around the city, many peaceful but some violent, with hundreds of buildings damaged. This news from BBC. Please subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.